Hello, welcome to my live on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, the 5th of November, and it's just just 6 o'clock p.m. UK time. For those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I use my free time to come here to chat with you guys and discuss anything to do with mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, and all that jazz. And so I'm going to stay here probably up till 8 o'clock, unless it's very, very quiet and no one needs me today. But other than that, I'm going to be here, hopefully, taking some questions from you guys. And so there was some comment. Let me have a look. There were some questions from you guys. And so there was some comment. I can't find it. There was some comment, some questions asked before I even started, but it's gone. Laksha, hello Laksha, how are you doing? So yes, I'm going to start the live by doing what I used to do in the past, which is to read and comment on some of my own posts. And hopefully, by the time I'm done with that, some of you will have found the inspiration or the courage to ask me some things about yourself. Okay. Okay. The first post that I put out on TikTok today goes like this. You can chase happiness, or you can be happy, but you can't be both at the same time. So this is to highlight that as long as we are pursuing something, we're confirming that we haven't got it. And so if we are chasing happiness, the more we do this, the more unhappy we become. The more, it's not that we become more unhappy, we just stay in that state, not realizing that happiness is a state that we allow to be. We don't find, we don't get, we don't have happiness. We experience it. It's a moment, it's a feeling, it's a state. And so we must be able to welcome that state so that we can experience it. And I've got a video on YouTube that talks about it. I put a long form video every week. And the one that I put 2 weeks ago, was called Happiness is Easier Than You Think. And on the thumbnail, it says where to find happiness. I talk about all those things. So if you have any interest about what sort of topic, check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Next, the second post that I put out on TikTok today, and I mentioned TikTok because TikTok is where I put my new short videos, and YouTube, they're always a little bit behind, a few weeks behind. And with long form videos, it's the opposite. YouTube get the first exclusivity of the long form videos, and after a few weeks, I also share them on TikTok. So anyway, the second post on TikTok goes like this. The past is waiting for the present to define it. And it's a very interesting way to look at it, but the past is not a thing that is alive. It's not a thing on its own. We experience the past based on how we remember it, but also there's something that a lot of people don't realize, is that we never really remember an event as it occurred. What we remember is the last time we played it in our mind. And so every time we play it, if it's a memory that is charged with emotions, we will keep on thinking about it, because emotions are going to make sure that those memories stay at the forefront of our head. But also what it means is that the emotional intensity will slightly alter the memory every single time we play it. And this is based on the neuroplasticity of the brain, which is essentially its ability to adapt to everything. And so if we have a very traumatic experience as a child, for instance, although it was traumatic, the more we play it, the worse it actually becomes. But this goes the other way around. If we have a very happy memory from the past, that also explains Why? Some of those memories, for some of us, are very, very amazing because we add a bit of joy and happiness every time that we replay it. And so, yes, the past is waiting for the present to define it, basically explains all those things and more. Because also when it comes to healing, we like to talk about the past and finding a way to address it, and we forget that there's no such a thing, a place called the past that we can ever return to. The past is only defined by our experience of now. So what it means is that we can also heal the past in the now. Everything we need in order to heal exists right here and now, because there's only here and now. There's no past, there's no future, there's only ever here and now. And finally, the last post that I put out today, that I will put out at 7 o'clock tonight, goes like this. You're not afraid about what others think of you. You're afraid of confronting what you think about yourself. And so this is to do with the idea that whenever we are worried about what others think, whenever we take things personally, it's only ever because there's a part of us that believe that what they say is true. There's a part of us that believe that what they say is important. We must value their opinions. And so we're essentially projecting some of our repressed shame. If someone tells me something that I don't believe about myself, I'm not going to be affected by it. And so this is a very important tool of self-awareness. Whenever we react to others, whenever we have certain thoughts about some people, it's always a projection of some aspect of ourselves. And the reactions would be something to do with with the emotions that we don't want to accept about ourselves. So shameful emotions. If someone tells me that there's something wrong about me, I will only be affected if I believe that indeed there's something wrong about me. If I've done some work on myself and I'm at peace with myself and I love myself, I couldn't care less about whatever anyone may think about me. And this is a journey that we can all take, regardless of where we are. And I'm saying this because I used to suffer from insecurity myself for the vast majority of my adult life, all my life. I mean, not just adult, childhood, teenagehood, and young adulthood. And it's only in the last few years that I really worked on those aspects of me. And now I'm at peace with myself. All right, so let's see if there's any questions. Yes, yet. Lakshya, hello, hello, Lakshya. Nagot St. Louis, hello. Nagot, sort of like living in the moment. Yes, a lot of things that I'm going to talk about. And one of the secret life hack is really the basic principles of mindfulness. If you can be in the moment, we're going to sort out most of our problems. Because right here and now, for the vast majority of us, not for everyone, but for the vast majority of us, right here and now is safe. We worry and we get anxious because we are trying to control the future. And as long as we do that, our body is going to be feeling bad because the projections that we have of the future are going to be dark, scary, unsafe. And so because we're having those thoughts will create those emotions in our body for us to feel, such as anxiety. And if we have any, let's say, anger because of something that happened to us, unless we are in a situation, more often than not, is to do because we are thinking about the past. We have some unresolved stuff, things that happened to us a few years ago, a few months, a few weeks, a few minutes ago. But right around now, if you could be practicing the skill of being present, we would realize that most of our suffering happen when we are thinking about the past or the future. Lakshya, hi. Victor Loop. Love to be in the room, man. Thank you. Hello, Victor. Just joining as promised. So, Victor, if you have anything you'd like to talk about, just hit me. I'm going to be here up till 8 p.m. UK time. Nagot, this is true. Thank you. Nada. Hello, Nada. Staff to snake. Do you recommend a healing technique that could fix everything quickly? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Sadly, we live in a culture and society that teaches us that there are such thing as a magic pill or a magic hack that can fix and heal everything. And it's a lie, because everything that happens in our life is the result of many things all occurring at the same time in this moment. What it means is that there's not just one aspect to it, first and foremost. There are many reasons as to why we have a problem. It's never just this or that. But also we are all vastly different. We are very complicated human beings. And so what it means is that there's not one system in the world, as far as mental health is concerned, that will heal everyone. It doesn't exist. We're just too diverse. There's, however, at least one method that will work for you. It's for you to find out what it is. And so if you're asking me, do you recommend a healing technique that could fix everything? We can talk about what everything means to you. Life is not to be fixed. Life is an experience. In our lives, however, there are going to be some problems. And so if you can tell me what sort of problems you have in mind, what are the things that are holding you back, that are continuous and consistent, what sort of patterns are annoying? Now we can talk about problems, and I would love to give you maybe some recommendations that will help you with that. Victor Loop, yes, bro. Victor Loop, you just like talking straight to my face. Okay, Nugget, magic pill is like putting plaster on a wound. Yes, it's a mentality that is born from capitalism and people who are trying to sell you their stuff and to make money out of that belief that there's suddenly one magic thing that can fix all of the problems. But because of that, we are looking for the magic pill, and we, instead of learning how to understand ourselves, zoom out and expand our level of awareness so that we can understand all the aspects, or at least many aspects, as to why that thing is occurring. Sadly, we are being taught to think in black and white, and because of that, we are very limited, but also we create a lot of conflicts with ourselves and with other people. It's right or wrong, it's true or false. Instead of realizing that very often it can be this and that at the same time. Some opposite, seemingly contradictory concepts can coexist. We live in a multi-layered dimension. It's not just right or wrong, black or white. But because of that, you can see it a lot with the social media conversations. People are fighting and they're speaking. They're assuming that if someone doesn't agree with me, then they're disagreeing with me and they're wrong, sort of things. Anyway, Nugget, self-assessment is one ugly but necessary process. Okay, yeah. Self-assessment is different than self-awareness. Self-awareness is where we start to realize that there's more to self than what we think there is. Self-assessment is when we're going to maybe start to face some of our repressed parts, or shadow, yeah. And so yes, self-reflection, self-assessment, any way you call it, is indeed the most important aspect of expanding our experience in this life. And so when it comes to healing, but also growth and an aspect of our human experience, self-awareness is the element that we're not being taught in this Western kind of culture. But if we can practice mindfulness, meditation, or just self-reflection, now we can upgrade some aspects of ourselves. So, Supernova. Hello, Didi. Can someone who is obese recover from this eating habit as an adult? Yes, absolutely. Or will this behavior pattern always be present? No, not necessarily. I'm talking about why my girlfriend. I am talking about my girlfriend. What types of support can I give? And so when it comes to people who are overweight and have been trying to lose weight for a long time and can never maintain whatever weight they have lost, it's not something to do with their habits of actions. It's to do with their sense of self. It's to do with the emotional setup that we have. The reason as to why not only they are overwhelmed or stressed out by events, people, but also The reason as to why they believe that the only thing that will make them feel better about themselves is food. And so it's a vastly subconscious process. A lot of people fat shame, and sadly it's still happening now, but it's always been around. People like to scapegoat and to highlight and to mock those who are different. And so when it comes to people who are overweight, sadly, because religion and culture, we believe that people are greedy, they're disgusting, they're lazy, they're not trying hard enough, and they're also being demonized by society. The media are beginning to always, at some point of the year, come up with some programs saying how overweight people are putting a strain on the NHS. They're horrible, they do it on purpose, they're not trying hard enough, they're just lazy. And it's terribly toxic because those people, they suffer from it. They don't choose to be like that. No one chooses to be overweight and to be ridiculed by the world, to be mocked by everyone, to be looked down by everyone, out of those old religious habits, such as sins. That's what I'm referring to. And so when people are overweight, it's not because they're not trying hard enough, it's not because they're lazy or because they're weak or because they're inferior in any way. It's because on one hand, they have a subconscious program that is designed in such a way that the only one thing that will help them regulate the nervous system when facing stress is eating. They have some emotional attachments with the very process of eating food, but also they're being stressed out. So there are two elements. This is often what I talk about when I say, when I mention the smoke and the fire. So we want to find out first why they are essentially hypersensitive. And again, this is due vastly to trauma and also some element of genetics for those of us who are having some sort of neurodevelopmental disorder, if you're on the spectrum, for instance. But we don't choose those things. No one chooses that. There's a big myth that we have a character and we choose to be stupid, to be lazy, to be selfish, to be weak, to be nasty. No one chooses anything. We're just the result of whatever happened to us that have created that subconscious program that get us to feel in certain ways in regards to whatever is happening around us. We're going to react to life, to the world, to people, to our own thoughts and emotions. And that program is the result of our upbringing environment. So if we can understand that, we won't be being so horrible to them, but also we won't be making things worse for them. Because if you think about it, if you call someone any derogatory name in regards to the physical looks, they're going to feel worse about themselves. They're going to have more shame, more negative feelings about themselves. And so as a result of that, they will need more of that coping mechanism that is eating food, as far as they're concerned. Right? And so the way that I do it, there's a lot of different things you can do, but I would address, if I was you, I would get your girlfriend to address her habits of thoughts and her habits of emotions, as opposed to the habits of actions. When it comes to people who are overweight, we focus on the diet, we focus on the lifestyle, exercising, going to the gym, running, walking, whatever. And those are just habits of actions. They're not habits of thoughts and emotions. And so what it means is that if we force someone who is overweight to be in a house where there's no junk food, only healthy stuff in very little quantities, and we are forcing them to train every day, they will lose weight because we are hijacking the habits of actions. But if we don't change the habit of emotions and thoughts, the minute they come out of the house, it will come back with a revenge because this is still who they are. So this is how they're going to react still to the world, to the environment, to the surroundings. And so unless and until we change our habits of thoughts and emotions, changing habits of actions will make no difference. Because we always return to how we feel about ourselves and who we think we are, what we think about us. And also, again, those thoughts that I'm referring to are all vastly subconscious. It's not a conscious process. And so any system that would use some sort of hypnosis would be good for anyone who has those sort of problems. Because now we're going to address the very origin as to why that person, first and foremost, is hypersensitive to life. And on the other hand, we have chosen food as a stress regulator. Could have been anything else. For every one of us, we have different ways to cope with life. For some of us, it could be people pleasing, it could be drugs, alcohol, it could be being a workaholic. There's so many different ways we can regulate our own nervous system based on what we believe about ourselves. And for many, it is the food. And so, yes, so RTT is what I do. It's very one example. RTT is the protocol that I use with my clients in my practice, and it stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. And it's a type of hypnotherapy. And this is what we do. Because I was referring to the habits of thoughts and emotions, we're going to address where the problem really lies, which is our emotional mind, our subconscious mind. If we stay here, we're never going to be able to reach the core of the problem. Hope it makes sense. Does it? That was for supernova. We can talk more about this if you want. Just keep on asking me questions. I just go down now because so that I don't stay stuck in one question, but I can address everyone else's comments. Nagot, shadow work, sorry. It's okay. Jupiter and Earth. What does RTT mean, and where can I study it to become a licensed RTT professional? If you want to become an RTT professional, it means that you know already about it, right? RTT is a hypnotherapy on steroids. It's a system that Marisa Peer created. And today is the 10th years of anniversary, actually, of her teaching it. And essentially what we do, we understand that all of our problems are no more or less than a development of some original limiting belief that we have put into place in childhood. And so instead of trying to look at the life that we have now, the problem that we have, we're going to go to the source of the problem, the original belief that has gone out of control because it hasn't been upgraded in time and now has turned into anxiety, depression, addiction, anger issues, self-sabotage, any of those things and more, low self-esteem. And then we're going to, through the process of hypnosis, we're going to go back into, we're going to revisit some memories of the past, the ones that are to do with our belief, the ones that reflect how we have developed, when, where we have developed those beliefs about ourselves. And the RTT job is to change the emotional intensity of that memory so that when we look back on it, we no longer feel bad about it. And this is often what I say, there's no such thing as a place called the past that we can return to and fix things there. There's only an experience of the past based on how we remember it. And so as we change how we remember it, now we're going to change our personality. We're going to change how we feel about ourselves now. There's only the now anyway. And as we change that, we are basically resetting our nervous system. If I realize that I'm a grown-up now, I'm an adult, I don't need anxiety, I don't need hypervigilance, I don't need paranoia anymore, or I don't need any physical elements that are chronic, that are the result of whatever emotional overwhelm I had in the past that was unregulated. I don't need any of those things anymore because now I've got my rational, logical adult mind, and so I can utilize my intelligence to sort things out, to deal with life, as opposed to needing some subconscious systems that are there to remind me emotionally of some dangers that have not been resolved from the past. And so that's what we do. We change our belief, and as we do this, now we have started a shift because we are both emotional and cognitive creatures. We feel and we think. And so we start to first create a bridge into our subconscious mind or emotional mind. It's like opening a little door. And once it's done, the rest of the work is to change how we think about ourselves in this world. And that's it. So the way that I look after people is first addressing the emotional mind and then the cognitive mind. Does it explain how it works to you? Do you want to talk more about this? Just ask me. Victory, so that was for Jupiter and Earth. Victory loop. Staff to snake, to my own view and understanding, bro. Honestly, there's no one technique that fixes everything. Yes, I agree. Healing isn't a hack, it's a journey. Absolutely. I agree with you, Victory. But if I had to recommend one thing that changes everything over time, and that's why I joined this live stream, which the answer is self-awareness. So self-awareness is what we use with any technique, with most techniques anyway. But I agree with you. That's a way to put it. But just that may not be enough. Self-awareness is the start of it. It's when we realize that there's something that we must address. Sadly, a lot of us, we suffer from a lot of problems and we don't even realize it. And that's why we don't do anything about it. If we take our pain or suffering for granted, if we believe that it's normal to be a little bit depressed, to be a little bit anxious, to be a bit stressed out, then we're not going to change this. As long as we believe that something is normal, we need to accept it. It's normal. And so self-awareness is when we realize that it's not normal. I can do better. I deserve better. And then there's a lot of other process and a lot of different tools that will allow us to find out what is our path of healing. Victory. Once you start understanding your pain instead of running from it, every other healing method starts working better. Yes, it's true. Sometimes there are some exceptions, though. Understanding is power. It's a thing that we often say within the healing community, or at least the people that I get with, and it's very, very true for the vast majority of us. However, sometimes healing doesn't come from answers. It comes from release, as in the release of needing to understand. For some of us, I mean, when I work with people, we can always find an understanding of why. It's always possible. But for those who don't, there's also the option of thinking, whatever happened in the past, I may not understand why, but it doesn't matter, because I want to focus on now. The reason why our mind wants to find out why is because if we had some overwhelm in the past and we don't know what happened, what it means is that we don't know how we're going to deal with that if it happens again. And so if we can't let go of some conflicts from the past, it's because there's a part of us that is scared that it may happen again and that we will be helpless again. That's the only reason. If we are at peace with ourselves and feeling safe, both mentally and emotionally, then it doesn't matter what happened in the past. We're focused on now and we're looking forward to the future. And also, there's an element of different level of healing. For those of us who have done a lot of work, at some point, we are in such happy place that it doesn't matter. It doesn't hurt us anymore. And for some of us, we don't need to understand. Just 1 second, please. There's a lot of noise outside. There's a lot of fireworks. I think it's bonfire night or something like that. I'm not sure. And so, yes, Peter White, I can say this. Since I started exploring my spiritual side, I've improved so much. It's remarkable. I recommend to anyone struggling. So again, not everyone will work for everyone. Not everything will work for everyone. But it's true that for many of us, those who are into that sort of journey, who are experiencing a spiritual awakening journey, this can be very, very, very healing indeed. Everything is about a narrative that we have about ourselves in this world. And so expanding our spiritual views is expanding that awareness. So we are literally starting to understand a different reality to the one that we used to experience up to this point. And by doing this, that also shifts how we see ourselves, how we see our past, how we see the people who hurt us in the past altogether. And so for some of us, holistic stuff, but also spiritual development can absolutely help with trauma, with any baggage that we may have from our past. Pumpkin puff. Hi Didi, how are you doing today? Feeling any better? I'm feeling better. I'm still having a little bit of tenderness in my toe. For those who don't know, I had a gout attack that has been on and off and creating a lot of problems for me for a little while now. But I'm coming to the end of it, hopefully. Crossed fingers. Fingers crossed is how we say it, right? Espirito, Jesus died for you. No, he didn't. He didn't. I love Jesus, but he didn't die for anyone. He just died. And some people are trying to milk his achievement, to emotionally blackmail and manipulate other people. By trying to make us feel, you should feel bad because someone died because of you. No, he didn't. But I wish you all the best. And I have no beef with Jesus or anyone else for that matter. Supernova, yes, it makes sense. Thank you so much. Thank you. Misleading donated $3. All right, thank you. I don't know how you do that. Because I don't think I've created any setup for that. But you know, if you manage to do that, thank you. Thank you for this. Nagot, I revisit the past for reviews. Yes, so this is the thing. We can revisit the past, but we can never. I mean, it's not that we can never. I was going to say we can't re-experience the past. We do. Um, it all depends on what context we're talking about. In the terms of healing and therapy, when I look after people, and some people have had some very heavy past, they're worried about going back there. And so that's why I always tell them, we're going to review and revisit the past. We're not going to relive the past. There's not a place where we can go back again. It's just how we perceive ourselves in regards to the quality of our memory of those events. Nago, I am much more spiritual now than religious. Okay, fantastic. So this is the thing. Being spiritual is being connected to some sort of divine. Being religious is following a system that involves other people. And so it's more about tribalism. Now, some people are religious and they are very good with that. They remember the original teachings of those religions, which were all about love, togetherness, forgiveness, understanding, compassion, patience, and all of those things, support, togetherness, as opposed to people who are using religions to control out of fear and shame. Jesus died for you, right? Most people, they may not even realize this, but some people do. But there's something called really, it's a real problem, religious narcissism. And that's typically people who are using religion to control and manipulate others. And sometimes they don't know, they just are brainwashed, so they keep doing this. Whenever someone comes into my page and goes, Jesus loves you, to me, it's telling me that there's something wrong about them. If you don't know someone, you don't go, Jesus loves you. You go, hello, how are you doing? My name is Das. What would you like to talk about? Would you mind having a chat about Jesus? That's a different energy. But yes, we can follow any spiritual school of thoughts or religions, but it's not about that, it's about how we are doing this. If we use religions or spiritual thoughts to expand ourselves, to find goodness within us, then that's how it should be done. But sadly, religion is used as a tool, a political tool to control people. And a lot of people don't realize that they are in a religion not because of God, but because they need a tribe. They need to belong, they need to feel safe within their people. So it's all about tribalism, really, for the vast majority of people. There are exceptions within all religions, of course. But sadly, when we look at the state of the world, we can also see a lot of people who are doing it for the wrong reasons. They don't even know it. Someone you used to know. Something happened to me this year, and now I'm hyper vigilant and feel like everybody's voice recording me and trying to get one over on me. I literally do not trust no one. How can I not be like this? You want to find out why originally you had a propensity to be like that. And so whatever that happened to us, even when it comes to, let's say, a traumatic experience, the way we're going to react to that traumatic experience is still down to our original emotional setup. And so people who who specialize in PTSD, for instance, understand this very well. There's been a lot of studies and research and data from, let's say, soldiers who went to war, and some doctors will be looking after all of them, and they will notice a pattern. Everyone will be traumatized in some capacity, but people will have different rates of recovery. Some people will recover after a few months. Some people will not recover. Some people will get worse over time. And what was the difference? The difference was that it was all to do with how they've been raised, with their childhood experience. In other words, the soldiers who had a very loving, caring, supportive family, they were the ones who were able to resume their life at some point. The soldiers who had a very unloving childhood, violence at home, alcoholic father, stuff like that, they had more propensity to get worse. They were the ones who couldn't get back on their feet. And so even if you say, I had something that happened to me, and now it has changed who I am, it's not that it has changed who you are. It was always there waiting for that event to manifest that experience in you. You had an old wound that has been activated, but the button was there all along, waiting for something to press the button. And so the first thing you want to do is to realize that now we are safe. It depends, we are all very different, but you want to find out, if you can find out, why there's a part of you that feels that the world is dangerous and not safe. And that'll be the deepest work you can do by yourself. But it could also just be you learning how to regulate your nervous system and remind yourself that now you are safe. If you can do this again and again and again and again, eventually your mind will start to accept it and will start to reset itself over a long period of time. And so, in other words, if you are feeling paranoid and on the edge because of something that happened to you, you want to first be in a place now where you are safe. You want to be in a world where you are objectively, tangibly, realistically safe. So I'm talking about people who suffer from something physical, right? If you've been hurt physically. Now, if it's to do with your thoughts about what others have of you, what you can do is to challenge your own thought. I feel like everybody is voice recording me and trying to get one of them. Confront your own thought. Realize that your thoughts are just a habit, and we hold on habits because they have an emotional charge. And so find a way first to regulate how you feel. If you are in a state of stress, you won't be able to access your rational mind that much. We have two states. We can be on a survival mode or a creation mode. So whenever we are stressed out, anxious, depressed, angry, sad, we are on a survival mode for one moment, for as long as we are overwhelmed by those emotions. And what we want to do is to regulate our nervous system so we can go back to our place of peace and chill and mental clarity. And so the recommendation that I would give everyone is to learn to breathe mindfully. Check it out, go on Google and check box breathing, for instance. And it's a very, very simple system. It's a technique that we can use, all of us, to reset our nervous system, to go from a place of overwhelm, overthinking, and protection to a place of, now I'm feeling good. I'm letting go of the thought that has created anxiety in my body. And then, once you are into that state, and only then can you challenge your own thoughts. As long as you're in a state of survival, you won't be able to do this, because you're using the emotional mind in that moment. You want to go back to your rational, logical, cognitive, analytical mind, which is your brain, as opposed to your body. And so then, if you have managed to breathe until you feel better, and it always works, as long as you do it until it works, then you are then in a position to challenge your own thoughts and ask yourself, is it true that everyone is there after me? Is it true? Do I have some empirical evidence that everyone is trying to stab me in the back? Look around. No, most people, they don't care about you. They're trapped into their own bubble and their own worries. They don't even know that you exist. And some of them do that, but they most probably are not thinking whatever you imagine they may be thinking of you. So if you can challenge this and remind yourself, I reacted because I believed that, but I can see that it's not true now. Then you do it again and again and again, and over a long period of time, that can help you reset how you think and how you feel about yourself. But of course, we're all vastly different, and so everyone must address the problems in the way it's appropriate to them. And for some of us, it requires more work. But I couldn't help you unless I know you. So maybe if you come back more often and we can get to know each other, we can do this. Does it help someone you used to know? Pumpkin Puff, glad to hear. I wish you quick recovery. Thank you. I have some questions for you today that I wrote down. Okay, please hit me. Christina Williams, today's job market is horrible. So how can I quickly and easily get a job that pays more than my current toxic one? I keep getting rejection emails. Okay, so that's a tricky one. Sometimes we don't get what we want. There is a world out there, and we only have power over how we feel about ourselves and how we see things. But we don't have power over the job market. Right? And so it's all a matter of mindset and how you see yourself in this world and what you believe is available to you or not. I cannot predict or direct you in any way in regards to job markets. And also you say, how can I quickly and easily, so that is another problem. We want things to be quick and easy, and it may happen or it may not. But what I would say to you is, instead of focusing on the job, focus on yourself. It's a tricky one because I don't know you yet. But what I would suggest everyone is to realize that sometime we have to do certain things in order to survive. But at some point we want to realize that we don't have to survive all of our life. We can start to create. And so what I'm trying to say is that we should really be doing things that we enjoy, things that excite us, things that are to do with our personality and our preference. And if we do that, then we don't need to worry about the job market. Because if I'm focusing on what I love, I'm going to be excellent at what I do very quickly, and then people will come to seek my services because I'm so good at it. In other words, try to develop who you are so that your life adapts itself to you, as opposed to you trying to match up with whatever you call reality. We all do this, and we forget that the more we do this, the more we're reinforcing that reality. And so if I believe that I depend on a job, I depend on the job market, then that will be my reality. And I'm going to reinforce it by staying in that space, because whatever we repeat, we reinforce. And so my advice, and I know that's going to sound very naff for some of you, but it's really to do what you have to do in order to survive in any which way for now, but plan a strategy to go in a direction where you're going to have, where you're going to be able to explore something that you love. And if you can do that, because it's something that you love, it's going to be very easy for you to be very good at it. And then people will pay you a lot of money for your talents, for your skills, for what you bring on the table. But essentially, to go back to your questions, we want to realize that and as long as we're in a survival mode, we will believe that we are the victims of our environment. And it's not our fault. It's because of our subconscious program that is the result of our upbringing, our education, all the things that happened to us, or trauma. Everything that happened to us up to this point has created our perception of reality. And that perception of reality literally shapes the quality of our reality. And so it's not about changing reality as it is, it's about changing how we feel about it. And as we feel better, our reality will also become better. Now, if you're in a survival mode, you will probably get very angry with me and say, how dare you? I didn't choose anything. And of course, we don't choose anything in childhood. We don't choose our belief system. We don't choose our mindset either. But the fact of the matter is that we are creating a reality that is the continuation of everything that happened to us up to this point. And so, yes, I'm not sure. I've got a feeling that I was a little bit all over the place. Let me know, did anything of the things that I said was insightful to any of you? Or should I approach it from a different perspective? Let me read down, maybe there's more comments. I will come back to it. Asia Dreyer, a lot of hearts, emojis of all colors. Thank you. There's a lot of little thingy. Thank you. Shana Cotton, how can I remember the good memories instead of just the bad ones? Through meditation, but also through healing. If you have a lot of bad memories, but very little good memories, it's because there's a part of your mind that believes that it's more important for you to think about the bad memories. So you're still in a state of danger. And something that I can remember for myself, because for many, many years before I healed, I could not remember a single good memory of my childhood. Not a single one. I only remember the terrible stuff. And I was obsessed with them. I was hurt by those memories every day, every night at the time. And every now and then I would see some pictures of me as a child and I wonder, seemingly happy, wondering who that kid was. I couldn't recognize that kid. But then, once I started to heal, memories came back. I opened the gate because the reason why we have thoughts that comes into my mind more than others is because they are charged with some emotional intensity, and the emotional intensity is there to maybe to bring, to put order in our thoughts and tell our mind what is the priority. What thoughts are going to be useful to me? What thoughts are going to help me stay safe? So as long as I feel that I'm not safe, my mind will keep on revisiting those memories. And because the mind is very practical and economical, it will only play those. It will get us to focus on that only. The good news is that all memories we had are there somewhere. We have a very, very vast, deep, powerful subconscious mind. And everything that happened to us, everything is there. But it's a matter of priority. It's a matter of our mind letting go of those memories that are to do with our trauma and unresolved wounds. And so the first thing to do really is to work on ourselves, to let go of any trauma that we may still suffer from, any way our nervous system or subconscious mind has developed because of those events we want to address. And when we do this, then it will just come back. I experience happy memories all the time. Thank you for the little heart thingy. Even to the day of today, every now and then, totally randomly, I'm hit by emotional flashbacks. And I'm like, gosh, this happened. And I know, I can feel it. It's true. I can feel it. My body tells me that it was true out of nowhere. And it's wonderful. It's really, really special. Now, there's something else that we can do. Through the practice of meditation, for some of us, it's also possible to retrieve happy memories of the past. But this is a whole different conversation. But through the practice of meditation, we can also, at some point, for some of us, make this happen. But I would say the main thing is to really work on our problems and get rid of them. And then everything will regulate itself. Very often, people ask me, how do I find happiness? And the answer is this. We don't find happiness. In order to be happy, we must stop the habits that prevent us from being happy. We are born happy. We are born healthy. We are born self-loving and confident and all those things. And we have been hurt by life. We have borrowed the limiting belief from the adults as we grew up, and we forgot about all those things. And so it's not about having more. It's not about finding the magic pill. It's about letting go of the bad stuff that have affected us and that have created a different reality for us now. Does it help, Shana Cotton? F of François, please. Emojis. Tyler Grayson, hello. I just wanted to send you my thanks for being so generous, authentic, and kind, especially towards the entire internet world. Thank you so much. That's really appreciated. Thank you. Pumpkin Puff. I've noticed that I have a habit of thought to think that I'm being used. I feel like a puppet from my narcissistic father, and I tend to overwhelm myself trying to meet what I think of others' standards are. Okay, I get it. And so basically, everything that you say explains why you have a narcissistic father. And so if you have a narcissistic father, it means that you have been led to believe that there's something wrong about you. And as a result of that, you have developed that habit that you are a puppet, or this is how you see yourself. It's a program. We are conditioned mostly by whatever relationship we have with our caregivers. And so, yes, it does make sense. So if you have that, you want to work on your sense of self and change how you see yourself. And we can talk about it. Thank you for the heart, whoever it is. Jacqueline Kabugo Radisson. Hey all. Hello, Jacqueline. Pumpkin puff. So I push myself to my burnout, and then I feel that my only worth is feeling like I'm drowning myself, and my self-esteem tanks. The cycle then repeats. How do I break this cycle? Again, by changing how you see yourself, but by realizing that you are not what you do. Your worth is not reflected by your productivity. A lot of us, we believe that, especially many men in a patriarchal society. So because we've been told, you're a man, you must be strong, you must be brave, you must be successful, you must protect the family, you must be in charge of everything, you can never be weak. So because of that, many of us, we have created that sense of self. If I don't do all of those things, I'm not going to be loved. Because the love that I had when I was young was conditional. I only get love when I was performing. I only could have love when I deserved it, when I was good enough, when I made my parents proud, or something like that. So because of that, now we see ourselves as such, and we're going to go through life, many of us, and we're going to think, my value is to provide for my family or to show them who's boss. Otherwise, I'm no one, I'm nothing. And because of that, we end up burning out, we end up being a perfectionist, we end up comparing and competing against everyone. And it's a road to hell. It's a very unhappy state and life to be and have. So we want to change that paradigm. Thank you again. You want to change that paradigm by realizing that you are not that. You're so much more than whatever you believed you were. Learn how to see yourself and accept yourself and love yourself, appreciate the good parts of yourself. Now, for you, I don't know necessarily what it's going to be because, again, I need more details. So hopefully, as we go through that conversation and also through the weeks, if you come back, then we will elucidate more about how we can help you specifically, Pumpkin Puff. Pumpkin Puff. I forgot to mention, once I'm burned out, my BPD gets really bad. Okay, so forget, if you have BPD, that's because of that. Right? Everything that you, if you have BPD, all the problems in your life would be related to something to do with the BPD. So how do you deal with that? Address the BPD. That's it. Work on it, make it your priority, make it your mission, make it your obsession. This is what you want to change. And again, for those who don't know, I suffered from borderline personality disorder myself. But now, even though I still have some aspect of it, it doesn't affect my life anymore. All the big triggers are gone. And every now and then, if I do still react to some things, I have systems to help me realize what is happening and regulate ASAP. So I forgot that once I'm burned out, my BPD gets really bad. So I feel like I'm just a problem and I need to try harder, which just always leads to more bad thoughts and burnout. Yes, BPD. BPD. I mean, it's not just that, but if you have BPD, it's the biggest part of your collection of problems. Annette Lalonde, what is the reason people become addicted to substances? Because they suffer. Because they are traumatized, because they feel that they are too different, there's something wrong about them, they are unsettled, and they are basically very unhappy. When we're addicted to substance, it's never because we're weak. It's never because we are bad. It's never because we're inferior. It's never because we are wicked or any of those things. It's because we suffer. That's it. Some of us have a propensity to be addicted, like me. I was addicted to Class A drugs and alcohol for 38 years of my life, like very, very badly. I'm a very different person now. And the reason we get addicted is because we're overwhelmed and we live in a constant state of distress and pain and disgust or whatever it may be. And so for someone who suffers a lot, when we come across things like alcohol or drugs, it's not an experience that is fun. It's literally going from hell to heaven for one moment. And in that moment, we're like, oh, gosh, I never knew this could exist. It feels amazing. I'm feeling good. I'm not tormented by my thoughts. I don't have any pain everywhere constantly in that moment. And so now we're going to go back into our reality, and we're going to remember the only place I can feel okay is there. So we're going to go back there. If we don't have any trauma, if we don't have any of these predispositions, then we may experience taking drugs or alcohol as an experience. And then think, okay, that was fun, or maybe I didn't like it. It's okay. Let's resume my life. But again, for those who suffer, it's a whole different thing. So we don't want to judge them. We want to stop stigmatizing people who are addicted. Every single person who is addicted to the level of being debilitating to the quality of life, and especially drugs and alcohol, they do that because they have a propensity for it. So again, we're back to that analogy of the smoke and the fire. The addiction is the smoke. We want to address the fire as well as the smoke. And the fire is the anxiety, the overwhelm, the depression, the feeling of not being worthy, the trauma, all of those things. So that's why people are addicted. It's not because they're weak. It's not because, yeah. There's also a societal element, but this is another conversation. Mental health is also has got two components. There's first how we have been programmed because of our childhood, but also how society is designed. Society is very unkind to people. It's designed to create mental and emotional distress. So this is important to know. All the words are taken. Hello, hello, Didi. Hello. How are you doing today? Jill Marinetti. My blood pressure was over 200 over 130. What can I do to bring this down? I'm not a doctor, but if you have a high blood pressure, it could be many, many reasons. First, something to do about your lifestyle, but also, of course, stress. So stress is part of what I do, but it's never just one thing. So you want to address your lifestyle. Do you sleep well? Do you eat well? Do you move and exercise? But also, are you happy? Do you overthink? Do you stress out? Do you react easily? Do you have some, again, unhealed emotional wounds? Because that will create more stress. Stress is really the thing that is problematic and the most simple way to look at all of our problems. Stress exacerbates everything. It takes any little sparkles of fire that we have turns into a bonfire. And so we want to minimize internal stress and external stress as well. That's for everyone. And for those of us who have some conditions, we want to address also the emotional triggers. And so, yeah. Do you do things to address your blood pressure? Do you have a good diet? Do you exercise? Do you practice yoga or any of those things? Are you happy? Sarah, what is an RTT therapist? It's a therapist that utilizes the protocol of RTT, which is a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at the subconscious level. If you go on my bio, there's a link to my website, and there I talk about RTT. So that can give you an idea. But you can also Google it, RTT. It stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. And it's like hypnotherapy on steroids. And of course I'm biased because I've been using that system ever since I became a therapist. But it's if not one of the most powerful technique to heal people from trauma and anything related to mental and emotional imbalances. Kayla Corte. Hi Didi, how can I combat procrastination? Some things are very overwhelming but need to be done. So we want to reframe how we see and understand procrastination. Procrastination is not something bad. Society makes us feel bad about it. But in reality, procrastination is a system that your mind is using to protect you. It's protecting you from overwhelm. If you are doing too much, it's protecting you from also maybe the fear of rejection, the fear of failure. It's trying to protect us from some feelings in our body. And so we want to realize that it's not bad. Procrastination is not bad. It's protecting us. So if we are going against the system that is looking after ourselves, we're only going to create more stress and distress. There's a reason why we can't do something. And so there's a different angles to look at this from. The first one will be whether or not you are on the spectrum of ADHD or autism. If you have any conditions that will affect, or trauma, CPTSD. If you have been through some sort of trauma of any sort, your brain will be different to people who didn't have this trauma. And so it will find it very difficult to focus on certain things because a trauma brain priority is to seek emotional safety. So it's going to anything is going to get us to focus on everything all the time, making sure that everything is safe. And it's all happening at the subconscious level. And because of that, we can't focus on that thing that we want to do. We are just overwhelmed. It's like a short circuit system. If there's too much energy, electricity, how do you call it? A fuse. It's like a fuse, preventing us to be overwhelmed. So what we want to do is to find out why I have a system, right? Is it because I'm depressed? Is it because I'm anxious? Is it because I am burnt out? Is it because I have some neurodevelopmental conditions? Whatever it is, procrastination is not a bad thing. It's protecting us. But if we believe that it's bad, we're going to allow society to, a capitalist society, to gaslight us and make us believe that I must work harder, I can't be lazy. And now we're going to create more stress and burn out for ourselves. And so you don't want to combat procrastination, you want to understand why it's there. And then you want to take the right measures to get your nervous system to feel safer. I hope it makes sense. When you say things need to be done, I'm not sure if you can expand on that. If you're talking about, I've got to do my exams, I've got to please my parents, I've got to please my boss, or any of those things, it's not really something that you have to do. I would urge you to reconsider your perspective of your whole life. But sometimes we have to do certain things. So if you are in a real survival mode, then you have to do whatever you do, and you will utilize your resources as human being to go through that stress. And it's going to damage you in some capacities for as long as you're there, but you have to do it. So there's no other choice. But you want to realize that you don't need to be in a survival mode. Your life is not to please others, but to find ways where you can expand yourself as you're enjoying yourself at the same time. There shouldn't be any conflict. We shouldn't need motivation. Oops, just bear with me, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to share my third TikTok of the day. I'm going to do it just now. Just bear with me, please. I'm not afraid of what others think of you. You are afraid.
Other people on the right were like, that's funny. Don't be so sensitive.
Just, I want to make sure that it's out. You're not afraid of... Okay. I'm back with you. Sorry about this. Okay, so yes, I hope that anything that I said made sense. Do ask me more, Kayla. There are hacks that exist to force ourselves to do certain things every now and then, and I can share some with you. But I need to know, what do you think about when you say things that have to be done? Jess. Hello, beautiful friends. May your day be filled with love and peace. I hope you are all well and happy. Thank you so much. And same to you, Jess. Someone you used to know. Thank you, very helpful. I suffer from anxiety and CPTSD through trauma from childhood, then teenage years, and now Just this, yes. Okay. Okay. Siri, hi. What would you recommend to someone who feels overwhelmed about all the responsibilities they have? Work, schools, bills, etc. When it feels like it's too much and nothing is flowing. Thanks. Okay. So you want to, I don't know, let me try to think about it. If you're overwhelmed by life, it's because of the way you see yourself. This is who I am, this is what I must do, and unless I do all of those things, I'm not worthy. So you want to change this. All the responsibility you have can be addressed in a different way. We all have responsibilities, but what I would suggest you is to realize that although everything seems to be urgent, there's only one responsibility. You can't do everything at the same time. You can't do everything just like that, just because you feel that you have to. So the thing that I said about your personality is very, very relevant, but I will put it aside for now. And let's focus on just being present. I want you to realize that you can only do one thing at a time. There's no such thing as multitasking. It's a myth. We cannot multitask. We can only do and think one thing at a time. However, time is followed by a moment, and it goes very quick. And what we do, when we are multitasking, we are essentially going back and forth from different places very quickly. But because of that, there's more confusion. It's harder, and it creates a lot of stress as well. And so we want to be present, we want to be mindful, and want to appreciate and understand and accept that we can only do one thing at a time. Your brain can only think one thought at a time. Yeah. It's just that there's a lot of moment, and we don't realize that I'm thinking about this and about that, but each thought is another moment. And so realize, first, get yourself into a state of peace and mental clarity. So if you're stressed out, if you're overwhelmed, it's not going to work. Do some breathing exercise until you feel better about yourself. And then once you have gained that state of mental clarity, create a plan. What do I have to do? And what is my priority? We only have one priority. Find out what it is. So you may think, I've got to look after the kids, I have to feed them, I have to pay the bills, I have to go and pick up the laundry or do some shopping, food shopping or whatever. Right here and now, you only have one priority. Just do it. You're overwhelmed because you believe that you should do everything all at once, and you believe that it's all also your responsibility. And that part could be true, right? If you are a single mother, that would be absolutely true. But sometimes it's not even true for some of us. But if that's true, still you can realize that you can only do one thing at a time, and so focus on the baby steps. Create some priorities. I have a friend, for instance, who has 3 kids, and they are very busy with their life, with their career. And so they have realized that they couldn't do everything, and the house is messy. But it's okay. The kids are still clean, and they are still healthy, and everyone is happy. But they don't have the physical energy to make sure that the house is pristine all the time, because they have their own project, their own business, and they still need to do millions of things in regards to themselves and the kids. And so they had to sacrifice something, and we thought, you know what? We're going to prioritize this, and whenever we can, we do the house cleaning. But we don't need to keep it pristine all the time if we have all those other things to do as well. So that's only one example as to how we can remember that we don't have to do everything right here and now. We will have some limitations of time and energy and focus, and so we need to prioritize. Let me read your question again, and I hope that this has covered it. What would you advise someone who feels overwhelmed about all the responsibilities they have? So this is from a practical perspective. The other part is from a mental perspective. If you think about it all the time, then it's a whole different conversation altogether. Do you spend a lot of time thinking about it? Or are you just literally overwhelmed physically by the task at hand? Because if you are thinking about it now, it's something to do with your personality and feeling that you're not good enough, again, because whatever the adults told you about yourself when you were younger. If you feel that everything is too much and nothing is flowing, it's because you're trying too hard. You're creating a bottleneck effect. trying to cram too much at the same time. And so, if you have a bottleneck effect, what do? You're going to prioritize one thing at a time, one drop at a time, and then suddenly, flow is back. Stop trying to force the liquid out of the bottle. Just tip it and allow for the first drop to go down, and the rest will follow eventually at its own pace. I hope it helps. Does it, Eziri? Isaac, Lucius, Levitsky. Oh, hello. You might be evil. Who are you talking about? I think I remember your name. And so I'm going to do something. I've blocked that user. I remember your name. I think we had some very negative interactions on some of my comments, so it's easier for me now to get rid of them. I don't want to waste time, energy, and to risk the vibe of that live by allowing any trolls any further on my live streams. Let's move on. Angus Penny. Hi, I am an overthinker and I'm having a hard time going to bed. How can I reduce my overthinking habit? The overthinking is a symptom. Again, smoke and fire. The problem is not overthinking. The problem is why your mind feels that it needs to overthink. Overthinking is a protection mechanism. There's a part of you that believes that if I overthink, if I keep on reciting and regurgitating and ruminating the same thoughts, it's going to solve them. And that's what overthinking is about. Overthinking is staring at the same problem from the same perspective and expecting to see something else. It's never going to happen. And so, why are you an overthinker? Do you have any conditions? Do you suffer from anxiety? Are you unhappy or depressed in your life? Because whatever I suggest to you, if I don't know who you are just going to be generic stuff that everyone talks about. Do some yoga, don't drink coffee after certain hours, keep away from your phone, sort of things. And they do help, but they are, generally speaking, when people have a sleeping disorder, it's never because of those things. There's so much more to this. So I would do some work on myself if I was you, and understand more about the root cause of my problems, the fire, not just the smoke. But I still want to give you something. Again, the practice of mindfulness is the one universal skill that would help us solve probably all of our problems at some point, in some ways, over a long period of time. Alternatively, therapy and self-reflection, inner work, sort of things. If you can tell me more about yourself, because again, I need more details. I don't want to give you people some blanket statement, some stuff that don't work. I really want to be useful here. So, if you are overthinking, what makes you overthink? Tell me about this. How long have you been overthinking? What are those thoughts about? Are they financial thoughts? Are they thoughts to do with your health, or with your loved ones, or with yourself? What sort of overthinking are we talking about, please, Angus? Victory Loop. Quick question. What do you do when self-awareness is not enough? Like, I see my flaws, my habit, my fear, but I still feel stuck. Sometimes I wonder if I will ever really become the person I'm trying to be. You want to chill, to take it with a pinch of salt and enjoy the journey. The reason why you are finding it difficult is because you want everything right here, right now. If it's not everything right here, right now, it's not good enough. I'm not happy, I'm not enough. And appreciate that you are a journey, and self-awareness is enough for now, because your life is made of time. And so after each moment, there's always another moment, and each moment brings new opportunities, new possibilities, new ideas, new inspiration. And so if you say self-awareness is not enough, enough for what? Enough for you to have your perfect life right around now. And this is what we've been led to believe, and it's just not possible. And we don't even want this. Life is a journey. Healing is a journey. Everything is a journey. It's all about the process of becoming. And so if you say, I will never really become the person I'm trying to be, you will. You are. No matter what you do, you're always becoming the person you're always meant to become. So take it one baby step at a time, is what I'm trying to say. Whatever you're going through is part of the process. Accept that the process will come with some moments of confusion, some moments of anger or despair even. It's all part of the process. As you go through those emotions and those thoughts, you will eventually, over time, see more clearly about yourself. And the more you do this, the more you will be encountering every now and then some periods of acceleration. But every little steps, including those who are not pleasant, not comfortable, are part of the process. I hope it makes sense. So basically, practice acceptance. Accept that you are fine, you're okay. It's just there's the part of you that is thinking, what's wrong with me? I want to be perfect right around now. And so learn how to love yourself. Learn how to love and accept yourself exactly for who you are right here, right now. When we say we want to fix ourselves, it's true, but at the same time, it's also negative because it implies that we're not good enough. I want to fix that, it's bad. Oh, I hate myself. Instead of accepting, I want to fix this because something happened to me. And so I'm going to go on that journey of healing, and it's going to take whatever time it takes. And I'm going to be better because this is my journey from now on. I have that awareness that I need to heal. And it's a much kinder way to look at ourselves and to look at what we want to achieve and to also experience that thing. So be kind to yourself. Rachel Fallon, do you feel comfortable talking about the belief that works for you, like your faith? I can, yes, absolutely. I believe in everything. I believe I'm very, very spiritual, I believe, but also I'm very practical. I understand that belief are just belief. Belief are not fact. They become a truth when we believe in them, but they're not fact because we all have different belief. And if something is a fact, it means that it's universally objective. We forget that objectivity is contextual. Nothing is universally true. There's no such thing as one universal truth, absolute fixed universal truth and reality. There's only our version of it, our interpretation of it, our experience of it. And so in that regard, belief are reflecting that. There are tons of belief. If we could utilize our rational mind, we could easily understand that there can't be just one God versus all the other ones. There are thousands of gods, there are thousands of beliefs. And so believing that Jesus or Allah or Buddha is the only God and everyone is bad, is easy to see how this is narrow-minded. Because that would imply that everyone else who believe other stuff, they're all wrong. Only I am right. So instead we want to realize that belief are just, they're all personal and they don't reflect any truth. They're literally what we believe. So what it means is that we can choose our belief. And I choose my belief. I choose belief that work for me. I used to have very, very toxic belief. I used to believe in very negative stuff about death, for instance. And I was obsessed with death. I was obsessed with the afterlife, with heaven and hell and all those things, or an eternity of nothingness. I was terrified with this. But then I realized it's just a belief, and I'm hurting myself by choosing that belief. And so I'm going to now change my belief. And then I came across a lot of different perspectives, Buddhism, Taoism, but also quantum physics. And all those things, they work together. And so essentially the belief that I'm choosing to have is that all realities exist at the same time. And we are experiencing that reality because we are a fragment of the universe experiencing itself through our existence. That's it. And so there's no life, there's no death, there's only an experience. It's like a dream. And once that experience is over, we're going to experience something else. I believe that the universe is a mass of consciousness and it needs to expand because otherwise nothing happens. Happening, life is movement. So it's expansion. And so for the universe to expand itself, it has needed to fragment itself into many perspectives. Because as long as the universe looks at himself or herself or themselves from the position of the universe, it's just who they are. But if you can be a person, if you can be an animal, if you can be a rock, a tree, or the wind, then you have a different perspective. And so by doing this now, the universe is experiencing more different perspectives. And as we're expanding through our own nature, which is our human nature, we're expanding the universe. That's it. That's how I see it. And I believe that whatever we believe shapes our experience of reality. And so this is also correlated to the things that I talk about when I address psychology. It's all very, very, very working together, really. But yes, I believe in the multiverse. I believe in angels. I believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens. I believe in unicorns. I believe in numerology, in tarot. I believe in everything and anything. I don't care. I believe in magic stones. I believe that everything is possible. I believe that everyone should believe whatever they want to believe. I believe in Buddha, in Jesus, in Allah, in Krishna, in Zeus, in Odin. I believe in everyone and everything. And I'm okay with everything because I know that it exists in someone's reality. And it doesn't affect me. Now, I don't believe that everyone will be able to read your future in a cup of coffee. But I do believe that there's at least one person in this world that can do this. And so, yes, I believe in everything. And this is the problem with humanity. We believe that there's only one truth. I must control the truth. I must understand reality. I don't feel safe. So I must have an illusion of control. And because of that, religion comes into play. Fear, shame, heaven, hell. And all of this is down to us needing to have an illusion of control. And so as a result of that, we're going to fight other people who don't believe the same belief. But if we could really accept that it's okay for everyone to have different beliefs and we can still be friends, now things will be different. If we are going on social media and we keep on going at people, Jesus loves you all the time, it's not going to make this happen. Because it's harassment. And unwarranted mentions of Jesus. But if we can realize and accept that everyone is entitled to their belief and it's not a fact, it's a belief, then yeah, life will be easier for everyone. Does it answer your question, Rachel? Jill, thank you. Jacqueline, still grieving from a big sister who passed in 2020. I'm sorry to hear about this. I feel very lost. I miss her every day. We had plans and she was my best friend. She left behind my niece, 11 years old now, in advice. Grieving is a journey, and there are many ways to address this. But I would say the best way, and it's not accessible to everyone, but it's precisely just what I said, change your belief. If you can change the belief that you have about afterlife, then that would change your relationship in regards to those memories. We grieve people because you think, I miss that person, I wished I could do those things again with them, I could never tell them how I felt about them, and it's those thoughts that create the pain. Now, when we lose someone dear to us, there is something called the grieving stages, and so we will go through different stages, and it's normal and healthy and very human. We're going to learn about the experience of grief. But if it's been 11 years and it's still overwhelming you, then I would urge you to reconsider some of the beliefs that you have. So for instance, first think about what are the thoughts that are getting you to feel bad about your sister. If it's a thought that is to do with, I miss her, I wish she was there, you can change this. You can think, when I think of her, she's there with me. Right here, right now, I can feel her, I can give her a hug. Mentally, I can speak to her. If the thought that you have is, I can never do anything with her ever again, think, it's okay, she's always with me, she's always looking down on me, and she's proud of me. And whatever I'm doing, she's doing it by proxy as I'm doing it. If you are thinking, I can never tell her sorry, or I love you, or forgive you, or any of those things because she's gone, then change this and think to yourself, I can talk to her. I can talk to her now. I can tell her, I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me. Accept that we are all in here in this human experience, and it's part of it. But when we pass, we are no longer that same person. We understand the things that happen to us in that human life. So again, this is all due to spiritual belief, whatever you believe. Right? But even if you don't believe in whatever I said last, change your thoughts and realize that you can still connect with your sister, you can still talk to her. And yeah, tell me if you can, please, what are the thoughts that comes the most when you think about your sister? Because there are many reasons as to why we suffer grief over an extended period of time. If you can tell me that, we can address it specifically, because there are actually many reasons as to why one could suffer from it. The last thing that I can say, unless you have more comment about that topic, is to live a happy life. So there's a say, something that Chinese people say. My mom told me that a little while ago. The best thing you can do to honor the ones that you love who passed away is to live a good life, is to be happy. Live a good life and be happy, because this is what your loved ones would have wanted for you. So I don't know if you can resonate with that, but hopefully some of the things that I said can help you with that. If not, keep talking and we can explore in more depth, okay? Guts and strength. And sadly, it goes without saying, the winner takes it all. Now you put the song of ABBA in my head. Q Hero. Hi, good day. I wanted to ask on toxic shame. What are your thoughts on it, especially less than, more than identities? Wondering how you overcame it. Thanks. So it's a big problem. First, toxic shame is an oxymoron. Shame is toxic. There's nothing good about shame. There's not a single positive purpose about shame. It's the one emotion that serves no purpose. It's totally fabricated by humans and religions. And so how do I address shame? By developing emotional intelligence. We want to learn how to feel our body. We want to recognize the emotions that we have. We want to be able to express and feel those emotions. Shame is the principle that there's something wrong about us. And the way we experience shame as a child, first and foremost, is emotionally. I am not good enough, so I must repress some aspect of my emotional self. I cannot be angry. I cannot express myself. I cannot be happy either. I cannot be sad or weak or vulnerable. Whatever it is that we have been told we shouldn't be, is shame. It's the repression of those emotions. That's a big question. But essentially, self-love, learning how to love yourself, is also a different way to look at it. Shame is not an entity. It's not a thing. Shame is the process. It's how we see ourselves, based on the belief that we had from our parents, from our teachers, from our environment when we grew up. And so a different way to talk about this is learn how to see yourself under a better light. Learn how to remember that all the shame that you have is borrowed from your parents or taught by your teachers or both. But it's got nothing to do with you. You were born perfect. You were born happy. You were born confident, self-loving, and very, very in touch with happiness. But as we grow up, we get infected by the adults, and we inherit their own fears and their own shame. But we must absolutely realize that there's nothing to be ashamed about. There's a lot of different avenues. If you can understand psychology, that's the long one, but then you realize that shame, there's nothing to be ashamed about anything, because nothing that we are is ever because of us. Everything can be understood from a psychological process as to what led me to become who I am, because X, Y, Z. And again, we're all the continuation of everything that happened to us up to this point. And so nothing is ever anyone's fault. Now, very importantly, when we talk about shame, we want to talk about guilt as well. And so as much as shame is totally useless, has no purpose, except creating suffering, guilt has a reason to exist. Guilt is, I've done something bad. Shame is, I am bad. And so if you can replace shame with guilt, if you can separate the behavior from the identity, now we can change it. Shame is the idea that I am bad. I am not enough. I'm stupid. I'm lazy. Instead of realizing I've done something bad, I've said something stupid. It's my behavior. I can change it. So guilt is just reflecting that we can upgrade something, some habits that we have. habits of thoughts, habits of emotions, habits of behavior. And so maybe that's also a way we can address shame. Separate who you are from what you do. Be kind to yourself and realize that your behavior is the result of your upbringing and everything that is to do with your environment up till now. And so you can't change this. It's got nothing to do with who you are. You are not a fixed personality. You are not static. You are a being that is constantly evolving, expanding, changing, because this is the nature of life and everything in this existence. Everything is about movement, change, evolution. Does it help, Q Hero? Jill Marinetti, thank you. Pumpkin Puff, thank you, Didi. I'm trying to work on my BPD, but I almost feel stuck. You're feeling stuck because you want too much too soon. We're only feeling stuck when we want something right here and now. I'm not satisfied, it's not good enough. Change this. Be satisfied. Think, this is my best, and my best is always good enough. And every day, I'm going to focus on each baby step. I'm going to get better and better, and I have my whole life. There's no pressure, there's no rush. I didn't choose my BPD. I didn't choose the trauma. I didn't choose the learned helplessness or any of those things. And so be kind to yourself. That's why I'm telling people at the end of the video, be kind to yourself. It really means something very important to me, and it's something that no one talks about enough. Even when it comes to healing, we're so hard on ourselves. We're so cruel and so mean, just because people have been mean to us. So we have that habit, and so we must be mean to ourselves as well. And we're thinking, I'm wrong because I'm hurt, and as long as I'm hurt, I'm still wrong. And not realizing that we are victims of life. We don't choose that, and so we don't need to join the bullies and hurt ourselves as well. There are enough bullies in our head as it is. I hope it makes sense. Pumpkin Puff. Igor Clem, hello. Hello, happy to see you live. Thank you. Happy to see you here as well. Jill, thank you. Pumpkin Puff. It just always feels like I'm swimming upstream. Doesn't matter if I try 10% or 100%. It really feels like I'm getting better sometimes. I feel even worse. Acceptance. So this is the thing. For you, the keywords is acceptance. Accept that this is where you are at this point in your life. Accept that you didn't choose your program, but you still have that program. Accept that you're in the process of addressing it. Accept that it will take time. Accept that sometime life will still suck, and it's part of the process, but things will get better. And so accept. Instead of, I want this right here and now, there's something wrong with me, I hate myself, I hate it. Accept that you will still suffer, but you will suffer less and less as you keep walking that path. Accept that your best is always good enough, and accept that you're always doing your best anyway. No matter what the little voices in your head are telling you, or some people, F them if they say that. Focus on you, do you, and go with your flow and accept yourself. Accept all of it. This is how we start self-loving, or loving ourselves. The self-love journey is about acceptance first and foremost. So this is where it starts. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for the little heart. Someone you used to know, I've never felt any real love in my life since childhood. Okay, I get it, I'm sorry. And was abandoned. I feel this has affected me as an adult. Yes, it must have. I'm sorry to hear that. I felt the same, and I totally get it. And when we're in those dark places, it's like hell. It's just effing horrible. And no one can understand this unless we've been there. All I can say is that this is a part of your experience, but doesn't mean that it's going to stay like that. When you experience those states, in those moments, it's true, it's real. We believe this is who I am, this is what happened to me up to this point, nothing will ever change. I cannot change, I'm too different, I'm too bad, I'm too unworthy. Some people can change, not me. And in that moment, we believe that because it is part of the experience. But the rushing part of that conversation is that I used to be the same. Many of my clients used to be the same. A lot of people in the world used to believe that we can never change. And yet we changed. So something for you to think about, right? That experience is not going to be forever, necessarily. I mean, it's not going to be forever. It may last. It may shift in different ways. that are similar to what you're going through. So it will feel very similar. But nothing is ever really the same. Nothing lasts forever. Everything changes all the time. And um, so know that you can learn how to remember that you were worthy of love. It's going to take some time. The process is different for everyone, but you are lovable. We all are. And the only reason we don't feel it is because someone made us believe that we didn't deserve it at some point in our childhood. So we believed them, and now we are stuck into that. But it's possible to change how you feel and how you think about yourself over time. Mr. Pallad, I'm going to also get rid of that person. Just like that. Bang. Anyone who's trolling now, I just blast them. I don't even read the comment. It's much easier, isn't it? And we can do the same in real life. Jill, God bless. El Shaddai. You, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. So another one, but I'm going to block. Block, 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 block. Gone. Someone you used to know. I overthink all the time, and it's exhausting. The conversations I've had over and over in my mind. I get it. Yeah, I used to be the same as well. So address your, find out about your understand your own mind. Some of us, we have very, very chatty minds, and the problem for some of us, I'm the same. I'm thinking all the time. I have ADHD amongst other things, and so I do overthink all the time. My mind is always chatting. So the problem is not to create silence, but choose better thoughts. So we can choose some thoughts that are to do with things that make us happy, that excite us. And so, for instance, I am obsessed with what I do. Anything to do, that's why I'm here. I write books, I create content, I talk to psychology and mindset and mindfulness to everyone all the time. I'm obsessed. And it's a good thing because that makes me better at what I do. If you spend more time thinking about something, studying it, then you will get better at it because you're adding some extra time, even when you sleep, even when you do things that have nothing to do with that. And so it's about choosing better thoughts. But also, I would suggest you to practice mindfulness. There's a lot of different systems that you can use to slow down. And it's not just mindfulness, also things to do with your body. We are not a body and a mind and a soul. We are one entity, and we are all of those things and more. When we look at ourselves and we call ourselves a body, it's because we're looking at ourselves from the physical perspective. When we talk about the mind, we're looking at ourselves from an emotional and mental perspective. And when we are talking about the soul, it's a spiritual perspective. But what I'm trying to say is that the way you feel in your body will affect the way you think. And so, do you eat well? Do you exercise? Do you do things that make you happy? Do you spend time in nature? All of those things will change your physical state, and your physical state will change your mental state as well. So it's not just that. Nothing is just that. Everything is a little bit of everything. But it's about understanding that we are multidimensional, and we must address all of those dimensions by understanding the big picture of ourselves. And so if you are overthinking, on one hand, you want to address your very mind and the thoughts, but also you want to address your body. There's one thing that I often talk about in this life is the importance of food, gut health, for mental health. Something that is very important that is not talked about enough is that 90% of the serotonin in our body is created in our gut, in our belly, our stomach, and 50% of dopamine. So that means that serotonin is the chemical that gets us to relax. It soothes us, it calms us, it regulates us. And what it means is that if we are eating junk food all the time, if we are bloated, if we're overweight, if there's constant inflammation in our belly, we're literally sabotaging 90% of our stores of serotonin. And so when we get stressed out, we've got nothing to relax us. When we're overthinking, there's nothing to calm us down. When our nervous system is deregulated, there's nothing to help us regulate ourselves. And so it's only one aspect of it, but it's very important to realize that food um, limiting, getting rid of inflammation, constant inflammation in the body. So practicing intermittent fasting, avoiding junk food, eating a lot of different veg and spices and herbs. All these things are so important for not only our physical health, but also our very mental health. But then, there's also other elements. So if you overthink all the time, do you believe that you have some conditions or some trauma of some sort? Poku, hi, I like your soft and warm voice. It makes me feel safe and relaxed. Thank you, Poku. Sandra Al Pounds, hi. Reborn, hello. I found the video very interesting about the meaning of life. Many people are looking to close the circle of why do we exist and why we must be here. Yes, yes. So Reborn is referring to my video that I put 2 weeks ago called Happiness is Easier Than You Think. Check it out. Thank you for appreciating it. Leah Rankin, unicorns and this. Hero, toxic shame is different from normal shame. I don't see it like that. There's no such thing. I think that shame is toxic anyway. How is shame not toxic? Maybe you're talking about a shame within a specific type of conversation and narrative. That makes sense. But to me, shame, from my perspective as a therapist, shame is always toxic. It doesn't bring anything good. There's nothing good about shame. And anyone who is saying the opposite are trying to gaslight you and to make you feel shameful about yourself. But I'm going to read the comment in full. Anyway, toxic shame is different from normal shame. I just learned about it recently and wanted to share it. I still appreciate your answer though, and it was informative. Okay. So again, unless we are in a very religious background, we will understand that shame is toxic. But if we live in a very religious background, some people may gaslight us into believing it's okay to be shameful. No, it's not. As far as mental health and emotional health is concerned, it is not. Shame and fear are the two reasons why we suffer. No more, no less. Mac United, I lost 3K today. I'm devastated. How can I change? Let's move on from that. Pumpkin Puff, thank you again, Didi. I will try my best to work on accepting myself. Thank you. Reborn, my sister is an overthinker. She comes to conclusion of things that may never happen. Is there a way to change that habit? Yes. Again, when we overthink, it's a symptom of something else. So we want to address the anxiety, we want to address the limiting belief that makes us feel that we must overthink to be safe. Why are we not feeling safe? What is the trigger? Luckable can, we should always eat good nutrition. Yes, absolutely. But then again, there's so much confusion about it. And also society is designed to make us feel worse. And so you see all those ads on television about terrible foods. Do you know that everything that we see on television, the vast majority of it is just to either control us or to sell us something. You don't see ads about eat healthy apples and broccolis. It's just about products that are manufactured. Even common myths that are still persistent today were all manufactured to sell things. And so the breakfast of the champions. We're not meant to have breakfast. Even up till Victorian days, people had 1 meal a day. 2 if we're lucky, but never 3. And so breakfast was invented by cornflakes, cereals, Kellogg's cornflakes, the breakfast of the champions. And it's terrible food. It's just cardboard with no nutrients and a lot of salt and sugar and chemicals. But we invented that to get people to buy the cereals. Same thing as milk. Milk is very good for your bones and brings a lot of calcium. If anything, many of us have problems with digesting milk. And we find calcium in green leafy veg anyway. But everyone believes that. People still believe I must drink milk for my bones. I must have a breakfast of the champions to start my day with. And they're just things that were manufactured by marketing companies to sell stuff, and now uh, it has conditioned us to believe those things. Someone you used to know. I'm underweight due to my anxiety. My stomach is sore to touch and hurts me most of the day. Oh, I just can't eat. And yes, I have CPTSD along with anxiety. It's hell most of the time. I'm sorry to hear about this. I will urge you to seek some professional help. But this is my best answer. We can talk about it. Keep coming back, and as we get to know each other better, maybe I can help you also better. But at this point in time, I'd say you sound like you need some help. Someone who used to know, reborn, and do the same as your sister. Great question. Yeah. So again, overthinking is a symptom. Think about the smoke to a fire. Why do we overthink? What is our mind trying to protect us from? And also, sometimes we develop some things that are not necessarily to do with anything. It has taken a life of its own, and it doesn't really make sense anyway. But essentially, your body is in a survival mode and thinking that there are bad things going to happen to it. So your body, your mind, your subconscious mind is your body. Is constantly trying to keep you safe by using that coping mechanism that is overthinking. Zoom. What is your main interest in life? What intrigues you the most? People, the human mind, psychology, the human nature, the human condition is what I'm obsessed about. Is what really intrigues me. Is what I spend 95% of my time thinking about. I'm obsessed with that. I have ADHD, so I can really hyper focus, and I've been obsessed with that from, I don't know, for 10 years or more. All my life in some capacity, but especially I'd say the last 10 years, especially since I've been also a therapist and working with people, because I'm meeting and dealing with all sorts of people and situations and cases, and so that really, really expands my understanding of the mind, and it forces me to do better because I need to help those people, so I need to find those solutions, and so yeah, this is my thing. I love other things. I love food. I love comedy. I like to laugh. I love music. I love the art, as in paintings. I love, I don't know, dogs. We used to have dogs. We don't have any at the moment. I love animals. I love so many things. I love the gym whenever I can go there. I love nature. I love walking in the park. I love meditating. I love happy and kind people. I really love them. I love hope also when we meet or see situations that are not so kind. But the main thing that is in my mind, I have to confess, is that obsession about the mind itself. It's understanding people, understanding psychology, understanding why we are the way we are. I think about it all the time. I look at the world through social media, through television, through my interactions with people, and I observe people, and every day I see something different, and I understand something more. And I'm working on a book, so hopefully when it's out, I will let you know. And basically, this is my purpose, to teach people the mechanics of the mind and why we are human and how we can make it better for ourselves and everyone else. So yes, thank you for the question. Zoom. Tailor-made. Greetings, Didi. I hope this finds you well. Any advice for targeted individuals? What do you mean by targeted individuals? What does that mean? Let me try to Google and see if something comes up. Targeted in. It's a musical artist. I don't know targeted individual. I know there's also something, but it's not about music. Self-identified individuals who believe they're victim of constant group stalking, monitoring, and harassment. Okay, so I understand. It is a thing. So you're asking me about advice about you. Are you overthinking about what people may think of you? Are you paranoid? My advice would be to realize that whatever you think about people is not true. Get into a state where you can actually be rational first and foremost. If you're in a stressed and anxious state, it's not going to happen. And so do some breathing. Again, check out Google box breathing until you have resetted your nervous system, until your body is back to state of homeostasis. And then you can challenge your thought. Is it true that everyone is after trying to hurt me? Is it true that everyone is trying to harass me? And then you realize, no, it's not true. And the more you do this, the more you remind yourself that it's not like that. And over time, by virtue of repetition, you may be able to upgrade that belief that you have. Does it help? Tailor-made? Pumpkin puff. Can BPD be affected by nutrition too? Yes, of course, everything. We are a thing. So whatever, our nutrition affects everything. So if you have some conditions, as we have inflammation in the belly, we're going to exacerbate that condition. Inflammation is a type of stress in the body. Any type of stress, internal and external, are going to exacerbate what we are. And so we want to address the triggers if we can, through therapy, for instance. But if we can't, at least we want to address the stress that are going to make whatever conditions we have worse. So one of the very, very important aspects of life for everyone is to learn how to let go of the stress that we have, but also minimize our exposure to external stress just as well. And this is from any aspect. So that's why I'm talking about our lifestyle. Do you sleep well? Do you eat well? Do you exercise? Do you socialize? But also environment. Do you make sure that you are surrounded by people who are kind and supportive, as opposed to people who are horrible to you? Do you go to places that are overwhelming or not? Those sort of things. They all add up. But yes, Camila, hi Didi. You look sad and tired. I hope you are doing well. Sending you great energies. All right, thank you. It's my face. I'm not going to apologize for it. Sometimes I look like this, sometimes I look like that. Thank you for highlighting it. But I'm good. I'm at peace. Sometimes we have more energy, sometimes we sleep less or more. It's just life. Saif al-Islam, what do you call the thing behind the live streamer? I don't understand. The thing behind the live streamer. Are you talking about the room divider? I think this is what it's called. Zoom, very cool. I will be listening to you. Thank you, Zoom. Saif, looks cool AF. Okay. Zoom, there's nothing more complex in the universe than the task of mapping out the human mind. Respect to you. Thank you. I don't know if there's nothing more complex. I believe that quantum physics is quite complex. But thank you. I'm going to take it as a compliment. I appreciate. It is. I'm going to agree with you in the sense that, indeed, if we could understand the mind, society at large would be a much better place for everyone. The world would be better. The only reason why there's so much conflict, so much pain and suffering in the world is because of the lack of understanding of the human mind. So we're the victim of our own human nature and condition, fear, shame, that needs division, scapegoating the others, and that creates all of those conflicts and all of those injustice in the world. Reborn, talking about social media, I realized that 60% on TikTok leans on negative issues are often victimizing of individual talking pitifully. Why is it so? Why it ever change? Will it ever change, you mean? Yes. It's not just the social media, it's the world at large, society. Everything is designed to be negative at first. By mere survival, evolutionary reason. And so our brain is wired for the negative, because if you think about it, if I'm going to have 10 experiences in the day, and 9 are positive, but 1 is negative. We're going to think about that one. Why? Because the brain wants to protect us. And so the nine happy, positive interactions, there's nothing bad to worry about. That one, however, we don't like it. And so that's why we think about this. And also, similarly, if we are on a state of stress and survival and fear and anxiety, if we see people, we're going to look out the possible danger because our mind wants to protect us, as opposed to, that person looks different. Let's chill out and see how we can grow and learn from each other. Right? If I'm at peace with myself, I would do that. I would welcome diversity. I would welcome foreigners, strangers, because I understand that we're all different and we can all grow together. But if I live in fear and stress and anxiety, now my mind is going to seek for the bad things. Oh, there's something different. Why are they different? What's wrong with them? And so our brain is designed to focus on the negative. But also society is designed to get us, to keep us in that state. Because people who are creating society, they understand human psychology. They understand that this is how we manipulate and control people. People who are at the top. They understand that it is by creating a lot of fear and discomfort that they will be able to manipulate them and to make them believe that all of their problems is because of the others. So now they're fighting between each other at the bottom, not realizing that it's people at the top that are puppeteers, that are manipulating everyone. And so society is also designed for that, but also language. I can't remember, but I think it was 60%. I think that in the English and the Spanish language, it has been demonstrated that 60% of the words, or even more, are designed to depict negative stuff as opposed to the positive stuff. So even in language, there's a much broader collection of adjectives and terms and verbs and expressions to talk about bad stuff than the good stuff. And so everything is designed for that. And so social media, there's nothing wrong about social media. Social media is just a mirror. It's just another different expression of the human mind. But because our mind is designed as such, doesn't mean that we have to be limited by it. It's only our starting point. When we come into this life, our first priority is to survive. But because we have to survive as a priority, doesn't mean that we have to stay on survival mode all of our life. We want to realize that we don't have to survive all the time. We can live, we can thrive, we can create, we can be happy. And so, in other words, it's true that our brain and society and all of us are all designed to be negative. However, it doesn't mean that we're going to be all, that we have to live our life like that. We can change this. Nick Hayden, what if exposure is from your own home? What then? Exposure to toxicity? We need to get out of it. If your home is toxic, it doesn't matter if your home, they're toxic to you. Many of us, sadly, we had a very challenging and hurtful and toxic upbringing. And some family members can be the reasons as to why our whole life is going to go down. I'm one of them. Many of my clients are, if not the vast majority of them. And so many people, we don't realize that we are being hurt. And it's not that parents do it on purpose, but they have still hurt us. And some of us have not healed and changed, and they can still be toxic to us today. So if that happens, we need to realize, this has happened until now, and I need to stop it now. Sometimes habits are just continuing. This is what they are, they're habits. And we must realize that I have the habit of allowing for that toxic person in my life, for my family, to still hurt me. Why am I doing this? Because it's family? We don't have to. And so if you're under 18, you have to leave your family by law. So I would ask you to bear with it for now. And when you are able to leave, organize a strategy. No, don't go in the street on your own, but find a way to be independent. And you can spend less time with them. You don't have to see them at Christmas. Send them a card. Say hello on a Zoom or WhatsApp video, and that's it. And focus on yourself instead. But yes, we have the belief that because I grew up in that family, I must allow them to treat me like they've treated me all my life, and it's just not true. Um, we need to set boundaries. Is that what you meant, Nick Hayden? Q Hero, message retracted. Christina Kapinen, how do I start coping with losing decades of my life and everyone I loved? What is left? Um, every day is a new opportunity. If you focus on what you have lost, you will never allow your mind to welcome the new stuff. Whatever we focus our mind on becomes our reality. We create our own reality. And so if you think, I've wasted all my life, I've wasted the best years of my life, I've lost so many people, now you're creating a narrative that will make you feel bad about yourself. Because whatever we think in our head is going to create some emotions in our body. So the nature and the quality of your thoughts are going to create how you feel about yourself. And you are basically doing this to yourself. You don't do it on purpose. It's all happening at a subconscious level, but this is what we do to ourselves. And so you want to change that thinking, change the narrative. You haven't lost a decade of your life. Your life was and still is a journey. And so what it means is that everything that you've been through is part of your journey. But the journey is not over. The story is still unfolding. And so you can change at any time, at any age. You can start something new, something different. You can meet some people. You can finally invest yourself in that project or whatever that you wanted to do. Everything is possible out of our lives. Everything is possible in some capacity. Everything is possible in how we're going to feel about ourselves. So what I'm saying is that if your dream, for instance, were to be at the Olympic Games and be an athlete, maybe that is of the options. However, you can still do something to do with competition that will make you feel in the same way, right? Maybe having that perfect life, exactly how you imagine it, is no longer available to you. But you can find different ways to feel the way you would feel in different ways now. I hope it makes sense. You don't cope with losing decades of your life. You change your perspective of yourself. You change your perspective of life. You look at things from a different perspective. You realize it was all part of my life. It's a lesson. What can I learn from it? How can I grow from that? And then what is the next lesson? Why do I want to take my life now? As long as you're alive, you still have time. Life is made of time. But if you compare your life with the life that you believe you should have, now you're going to suffer. You're suffering from your own expectations, from your own projections, from your own fixations. This is a perfect life, and anything other than that is terrible. And it's not true. Change your standards, change your expectations, change your the way you look at yourself, and realize everything was there to teach me something, and I still have time. We all have time. Time is the one thing that we all have, plenty, because life is literally made of time. You cannot run out of time. Run out of time. As long as you're alive, you have time. And so we only suffer from FOMO, from the fear of missing out, when we are comparing our life or ourselves with other people's lives. That's it. Stop comparing and accept that this is your story, this is an adventure, and do some meditation to reflect on the good stuff. Learn how to be grateful about whatever happened to you, or find different ways to look at it from a different perspective. If you're telling me, I lost someone that I loved, how can I be grateful about this? Well, you can. You can think, all right, I've lost that person, but in reality, I never lost them because I don't own them. They don't belong to me. What I've done is to experience something with them. And what I miss is the experience. And so the first thing we want to do is to say, I'm grateful that I had this experience. I can remember, I've got the memories. I'm so privileged. I'm so lucky to have been able to have experiences with them. But also because what you miss is not the person, it's the experience. Then you can find those experiences with other people. They're going to be different because everyone is different. And so you're never going to have exactly the same relationship that you had with certain people that you lost, but you can still find connection, love, and happiness with other people in different ways. And so if you focus your mind on that, now there's no longer any lack, despair, suffering, missing out. There's more about discovering, being curious, opening yourself to luck, love, happiness, and life. Um, what is left? Your life is still ongoing. Your story is still ongoing. It's not over until it's over. Um, but again, it's very important to stop comparing, to stop trying to have a fixed idea that happiness must look like that. And if I don't have this exactly as it is and when I want it, then I can't be happy. I hope it helps, Christina. Let me know. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for your time and the chat today, Didi. I hope you have a good evening and your toe feels better soon. Thank you so much. Oh, it's already 8 o'clock. Gosh. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to read the last comment very quickly. I will address them, but I will rush them a little bit because I need to go now. Q Hero, can you break down boundaries and power dynamics? Manipulation, control tactic. I find it hard to set boundaries and protect myself from power dynamics. I'm in a relationship, Slack friendship, intimate. You know what? Come back to the next one, please. It's a big topic and I can tell you a lot about it, but I just realized it's already 6 minutes past 8. And so I'm going to read the last comments. But please, guys, come back. I go live twice a week, every week on YouTube, every Wednesday and every Friday from 6 p.m. up till 8 p.m. UK time. And so now we're coming to the end of it. I'm going to read the last comments, but come back, please. If you haven't subscribed already and you enjoy this, subscribe. If you know anyone who could benefit from my help, get them to find me and discover and maybe ask me questions directly on my next live. But next time, if you don't mind, please, Q Hero. I would love to talk about it. Just remind me of that conversation then, please. Zoom. Wow, this is crazy. Do you have any source about English and Spanish leaning towards negativity? I don't. I lost them. It's something that I came across many years ago. But you can Google it. You can AI it. Nowadays, we can find information very, very easily. But it's something that was spoken a lot in my circle as to how we are absolutely living in a world that is negative by design, including our very vocabulary. Zoom, I would like to read more on that. Check it out. Now you can find information everywhere. And also I'm running out of time. But I can do some research maybe for next time. We can talk about it Friday if you can come back. Tyler Grayson, I relate to you in having tattoos, neck tattoos, and my tattoos are powerful reminders that help ground me when I look in the mirror. How would you describe your relationship with your tattoos? I love them. I love them, and I would love to talk about it more on the next live. Nick, but as Q Hero says, how to deal with a power trip on constant. I'm with that person too, also with Christina. I have more than a decade of marriage that seems I can't help in any way. Come back, please. I would love to talk about it on Friday if you can make it, or next week. Again, every Wednesdays and Fridays I'm here. Q Hero, but come at 6 o'clock, please, so that I can have more time to address your question. Q Hero at Nick, sorry to hear that. What's happening for you? Sending thoughts and prayers. Nick, thank you. Hero, oh, you're talking about the context, love, joy, peace, satisfaction, etc. Not the thing we lost, want, like the content, personal relationship or job, right? Nick, you're welcome. Reborn, let's say you become 75. Will you still be working after 65? Is strict retirement? It depends. Again, I'll talk about it next time, but there's no limitation. We can all work until we're gone. It's about finding the things that we can do and that we enjoy doing. Nick Hayden, yes, love is what I'm longing from my spouse and feel I'm replaced. I have been twice anyways. Kids are here, so it feels that the only bond we have, and it hurts because I love her. Do come back, please. I would love to talk to you about this. Really, do come back. Castron Kitty, I love your snips of wise words. Thank you so much. Let's do this. Thank you, Les. Someone you used to know. Last comment. Thank you, Didi and chat. Been loving this evening with you all. Much appreciated. Christina, your energy makes me feel grounded, like everything might be all right. Hugs from Finland. Fantastic. Thank you, Christina from Finland. Guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much. I love you all. Look after yourself. Take care. And remember to be, to be kind to others if you can. And if you can't, be kind to yourself at least. I think that'll be it for now. Yes. Bye now. Do come back Wednesday, Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Bye bye.